Hello, thank you for taking the time to watch this pre-recorded introduction to LIPHA at Care Center for Internationally Educated Nurses. My name is Rachel Walker, and I am a knowledge broker at the Ontario Centres for Learning, Research, and Innovation in Long-Term Care at Baycrest, also known as the Ontario CLRI. Before we get into anything, I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge all of our partners and funders that have been involved in the development and the creation and implementation of LIPHA, which is what we are going to be talking about today. I won't read the full screen there, but I do like to give them their moment to shine. So, for those who maybe are not aware, the Ontario CLRI is a government-funded program across Ontario. We have 3 sites, one at the Research Institute for Aging, located in Waterloo, Ontario. We have Briere, located in Ottawa, and then we also have Baycrest, located in North York in the GTA near Toronto. And what we do is essentially support the quality of life for those living and working in Ontario long-term care homes. And we do that through a number of different initiatives, and a lot of those are educational based. And so that is what we're going to be talking about today, one of those educational offerings that we provide. So I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge that as an internationally educated nurse, or an IEN, the long-term care sector might be very new to you. And maybe you're coming into this with some preconceived notions about what nursing in North America looks like. Maybe your healthcare system that you're coming from doesn't have long-term care homes, and that's not something that you're familiar with. And so what we're trying to do here, and we'll get into it in a little minute, but is we're trying to help prepare you for that setting as a nurse. Many of the placements for pre-registration nurses in Ontario are within long-term care homes. And so we believe it's important to help prepare you and climatize you to what that looks like. And then the long-term care sector is currently experiencing a critical nursing shortage, right? Maybe this is something you're familiar with, but the pandemic really highlighted those gaps. And so this is us trying to not only help prepare folks such as yourself, but we're also trying to showcase that long-term care can be an innovative place. It can be an exciting place to work, and it makes a difference. And so that's why we're here today. Before we get into what LIPHA is and how you're going to use it, these are some of the things or the benefits that I wanted to highlight for you. So the very first thing is I want you to know that you're getting something out of this beyond just the knowledge and the competencies. After successfully completing this, you are going to have gained a certificate of completion, as well as what we call a CAN-Cred badge. And that's what you see on the screen here. What these do is they are showcasing to future employers across Ontario that you have these specialized skills and training specific to long-term care, and it's all completely free. In the game, and we'll get into this again, but you are going to have access to what we call evidence-based resources that highlight competencies for your nursing role in the long-term care home specifically. And these resources could be e-learning materials, like modules you have to watch. These might be one-pagers. This can be embedded in quizzes. And so you're going to see these come up in different ways, but they've all been created by a team of interprofessional educators at the Ontario CLRI using best practices for Ontario's healthcare system. This platform is a virtual game world. And what that means is you're going to be playing a game that engages you. There's a story, there's a narrative that you're following, And what we do is we want to pull you in with that to make the content come second, right? And when we tend to do that, it makes it easier to remember. It makes it more engaging, more fun. And so that's kind of the approach we've taken with this. And then the last one there is that this is supposed to be a self-directive, self-learning tool, meaning that you're working on it at your own pace, on your own time, when is appropriate for you. So you can use this on a tablet, a desktop, a phone, whatever's most accessible to you. And you can log out and come back in and pick up right where you left off. And so those are some of the highlights that I wanted to point out for you and to show you that the benefits as to what you're going to be using. So let's get into it. LIPHA stands for the Learning Interprofessionally Healthcare Accelerator. And LIPHA is an evidence-based, serious simulation game world that was designed for healthcare education. Now, I know for a lot of folks, that doesn't mean a whole lot and can be a little confusing, a little wordy, and I want to reassure you that that's okay. The easiest way to think about LIPHA is that it is a game that you are going to play to help prepare you to work with older adults living in the Ontario long-term care sector. On the screen there, you're looking at the residents that you're going to be caring for. And essentially, you're going to complete levels. You're going to get access to those evidence-based resources I mentioned. And you're going to take the content and the knowledge that you've learned, and you're going to apply it, and then you're going to care for these folks you see on the screen here. I also want to acknowledge that you're coming into this with a plethora of information, right? Everyone here is already an internationally educated nurse. And so this is just helping to shift that focus, change the lens, and prepare you for specifically this sector and what that might look like. These are the competencies in which you are going to be focusing on. I'm not going to read them, but I wanted to show you. I also wanted to point out, you might notice at the bottom there, there's 8 hours. So from start to finish, this is going to take you about 8 hours to complete. Now, I want to highlight that I don't necessarily encourage you to sit down and play 8 hours of content in one go, because I think it's important to take time away and debrief. We'll come back to that in a second. But from start to finish, 8 hours of your time. And then you will gain that certificate of completion and have this specific training set. These are the learning objectives that our team has set out for this version of LIPHA, our micro-credential version. Upon completing the 8 hours of content, we expect that you will have gained knowledge relating to the specific areas of geriatric care. You will be able to effectively understand and demonstrate key values relating to long-term care practice specifically, and that you will be able to apply nursing-specific skills to geriatric care scenarios. Okay? So I just want you to keep those in the back of your mind as you're progressing through. And then maybe at the end, come back and maybe you could rewatch this video and you can come back to these learning objectives and self-reflect on, do you feel you've successfully met these learning objectives? Okay, so we have resources available to you to help ensure that you are successful with this learning tool. I want to highlight some of those now. But before I do, I want to take a minute and acknowledge that for a lot of us, this is very new, right? The odds are you've never used a game-based tool in an educational setting before. Maybe some folks are a little bit uncomfy or unsure with technology, right? Maybe you've never played a game in general. And so with that, I think can come some stress of the idea of this new thing. So beyond this video, these are some other resources for you. The first one is the Welcome to LIPHA video, which you're watching now, so we're off to a great start. The second one is that we hold bi-weekly support sessions for you. And so what that means is on a bi-weekly basis, we encourage you to join a reoccurring meeting that is held over Zoom in real time, where we spend the first half of the session answering any questions you might have. You know, is everything working okay? How is engaging with the platform going for you? Are there any specific questions we can answer for you in real time? And we spend the second half of the session debriefing the content, really understanding what you're taking away from it. Why is that what you're taking away from it? And just putting all the pieces in place in order for it to be the most beneficial for you when you enter a home and you're working with real people. The next one is our help desk ticketing system. This is a tool that is embedded in the LIPHA platform. And what it means is that at any point in time when you're playing through the game, if something is not working, you don't understand something, maybe you don't know where to go next, whatever it might be, you can submit a ticket directly to us, and someone from our team will respond and help support you through whatever you may need support with. That is available to you 24/7. And we'll come back to that in about 30 seconds. The last one is a text-to-speech feature. This is an option embedded in the game as well. It is there for from every level. And essentially all it means is that if you would prefer to have the content read rather than to read, you can do so. And you'll see a little microphone beside the content once you're in the game. If you click that, the game will start reading to you. And so you can listen and engage with it that way, if that is something that would be beneficial to you. The last one on the screen there is our Care4Nurses implementation guide. This is going to be your one-stop shop, okay? Your number one resource. The reason I put it at the bottom there is because the help desk ticketing system, the support sessions, and the Welcome to LIPHA video are all in there, right? And so this is going to introduce you to what the Ontario CLRI is, what is LIPHA, how to get started, how to finish, how to submit help desk tickets. And then there's also those support sessions or the champion circles. There's information in there as well. So on the right-hand side of the screen, I've screenshotted just our first page. You can see the table of contents. And so I would highly encourage you, if you have not done so already, to read through that full booklet before proceeding to the game, because I think it provides a lot of good content to help prepare you on what to expect. And so I wanted to highlight that. So what now? With that being said, in the implementation guide, you will find a registration link on the How to Get Started section. You are going to go there, you're going to click that link, and it's going to bring you to a login page where you can create an account. You are going to use your email address, your first and last name. You're going to choose a display name, and then you're going to create that account. It will automatically log you into the game, and from there, you will have access forever, okay? Please, 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 please use the implementation guide It will walk you through how to submit questions. I really encourage folks to come to our debrief sessions. There is information on when those are held, as well as our Zoom link to access them in the implementation guide as well on the last page. And also just remember that this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be enjoyable, a new and different and engaging way of learning the content. And so enjoy it. Please know that there are people here to support you, not only on our end, but also your case managers at Care4Nurses as well. And please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or concerns. Okay. Thank you so much again for watching this recording. I wish you all the best and good luck with your adventure in LIPHA.